I never believed in dreams. My name is Dante, and for years I thought reality was built on numbers, contracts, and rational decisions. But I learned, too late, that it's also shaped by intuition, and warnings we choose to ignore. It all started with an inheritance of $5 million. My grandmother died leaving me more than money, properties, developing land, family businesses, and stability. It was a ready-made life, a solid foundation many would envy. This isn't wealth, Dante. It's independence, she told me once, months before she died. I thought I understood. But then I met Alba. It was in a cafe, an ordinary afternoon. I was reviewing financial reports, trying to make sense of my new assets, when she approached me naturally. "Do you always look that serious, or is today a special occasion?" she asked, leaning slightly. "I'm trying not to mess up what I inherited." "Then you need to relax, or find someone who thinks better than you." I laughed. Her confidence disarmed me. The first months were perfect. Alba was close, intelligent, involved. She took interest in my businesses, gave opinions, helped. She seemed genuinely committed. "You could make more from this," she'd say, pointing at my reports. "You just need to optimize, take controlled risks." I trusted her. I gave her access to shared accounts for expenses, then to management tools, then to small decisions that stopped being small. I opened doors. I opened my life. That was my mistake. A year later, the dreams began. My grandmother appeared. Always in her house. Always with the clock frozen at 3:17. "Dante, some people don't love, they manage." "What do you mean?" "That not everyone is with you for you." I didn't understand. I didn't tell Alba. I thought it was nostalgia, grief, memory. But as the dreams continued, she changed. "You're complacent," she told me one afternoon. "I'm managing the businesses." "Yeah, sure. Managing. Sounds exhausting." The remarks became constant. Then came the contempt. "Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time with you." "Why would you say that?" "Because you don't grow, Dante. Because you're comfortable." She also stopped touching me. Stopped seeking me. "I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. Not everything revolves around you." Her voice was cold, sharp, distant. And at night, my grandmother insisted. In one dream, she was no longer sitting. She stood there, waiting for me. "You're letting her in too much." "She's my partner." "No," she said firmly. "She's someone who saw an opportunity." I felt a knot in my stomach. "What opportunity?" She stepped closer slowly. "The chance to take what isn't hers, without you stopping her." She touched my forehead. The images came with brutal force. Transfers. Hidden payments. Unknown accounts. One name, John. I woke up with my heart racing. I decided to investigate. I checked accounts. Statements. Transactions. And there they were. At first, small amounts, almost invisible. Then thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. The pattern was clear. The destination too. John. Her ex. But I needed more. I recovered messages. Full conversations. "Dante doesn't even notice," Alba wrote. "Told you it was easy," John replied. "I already have access to almost everything. Keep going, don't stop now." Audio messages. Alba. "I can't stand him, but it's worth it." John. "We're almost done. Just make sure to take as much as possible." Alba. "Yeah, then we disappear." The total amount. Over $1.8 million. Stolen. Diverted. Planned over months. Something broke inside me. But I didn't confront her. I acted. My accountant, Mr. Mendez, reviewed every document. "This isn't a mistake," he said. "This is structured embezzlement. There's intent, planning, concealment." "Can we prove all of it?" "Yes, and more than you think." Then I went to a lawyer. "Mr. Ramirez. We have fraud, embezzlement, breach of trust, and conspiracy," he explained. "The amount makes it serious. This could lead to prison. I want to proceed." He looked at me closely. "Then you can't hesitate for even a second." "I won't." The following months were a constant act. I pretended everything was normal. Alba stayed the same. I don't know why I'm still with you, she said one night, without looking at me. I watched her in silence. Maybe you should leave if you feel that way, I replied calmly. She frowned. It's not that simple. Of course it wasn't. I already knew why she stayed. More evidence came in. Access logs. Locations. Digital signatures. Triangulated transfers to external accounts. John appeared in everything. New conversations confirmed their relationship. John, how much more can you get? Alba, maybe another 200K, but I have to do it slowly. John, do it, then we're gone. Alba, I won't stay with him much longer. The day came. The lawsuit was filed. Fraud. Embezzlement. Scam. Criminal conspiracy. The trial began months later. Walking into that courtroom felt like stepping into another reality. Alba avoided my gaze. John kept a rigid expression. The prosecutor laid everything out. The victim, Dante, was used as a financial source through emotional deception, he read. Documents were projected one after another. Transfers. Dates. Amounts. The total exceeds $1.8 million, with evidence of continued intent. The defense attorney tried to intervene. My client acted under emotional pressure. Objection, Ramirez interrupted. The evidence shows initiative and active planning. The judge nodded. Proceed. The audio recordings were played. Alba's voice filled the room. I can't stand him, but it's worth it. It hit me in the chest. Then John's voice. Just finish the job. Days of testimony. Financial experts. Digital forensics. Everything aligned. Everything was clear. Until the final moment. The judge spoke. After reviewing the evidence, this court finds that the defendants, Alba and John, executed a deliberate scheme of fraud, embezzlement, and deceit. Total silence. The amount, exceeding $1.8 million, demonstrates sustained and premeditated conduct. Alba began to cry. John clenched his fists. Therefore, they are found guilty on all charges. I felt the air return to my lungs. The sentence includes several years in prison, proportional to the severity of the crime. The gavel struck. But something was still missing. The money. The recovery process began immediately. Full financial tracing. Local and international accounts. Shell companies. Hidden investments. Every movement was analyzed. We found an offshore account, Ramirez said. $600,000. Frozen. More? Yes, several. My accountant added. There are investments under third-party names, but linked to them. The process was meticulous. Court orders. Seizures. Asset recovery. Piece by piece, it came back. 400,000 recovered. Another 250,000 in assets. Secondary accounts blocked. Weeks later. We recovered everything, Ramirez said. Every dollar. I closed my eyes. It wasn't joy. It was something deeper. Closure. That night, I dreamed of my grandmother one last time. The house was intact. The clock was working. She was knitting in silence. You didn't lose it, she said. Almost. But you learned. She looked at me calmly. Now you can see. I took a deep breath. It cost me too much. She nodded. Real lessons always do. I stepped closer. Is it over now? She smiled softly. Yes, now it is. The clock showed a new time. Time was moving forward. Live, Dante, she whispered. But this time, don't close your eyes. The dream faded. And I woke up. Alone. But whole. Free. And for the first time in a long time. At peace.
The journey doesn't end here. If you want to keep discovering more stories and surprises, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I promise what's coming next will be even more exciting. See you in the next chapter.